The coach take the Lincoln Tunnel through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. A few moments ago, the crowd here was on their feet as their beloved Jets made their way out of the tunnel. They're ready to go. We're ready to go, and it should be a good one as those New York Jets get set to face off with the Oakland Raiders.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Set. Forward, Mike. Right. Mike, fight forward. Watch the screen.
They'll run here with a former Steeler. This is Le'Veon Bell. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Here we go. Set. Head read. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Defense wins championships, baby.
They go play action with Haskins. He's going to air one out for Anderson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
So certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14. Now Haskins, 3rd and long. He's got him in, complete. And all the way down to the 39. Big yardage that time for the Jets. And even 40 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. A 1st down run not going to get them a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Haskins to throw on 2nd down. Haskins hit, and he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. The 20, 10. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. And that makes it 7-zip Oakland. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. That'll be taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's
rush coming, and he's taken down. Maurice Hurst in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now it's Haskins. He's going to air one out. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Let's take it inside his own 40. And now off to the races, down the right side, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. He returns the punt 61 yards, and the Raiders are able to strike quickly for 6. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
In on the stop, it's Tahir Whitehead. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on fourth. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Haskins. This one caught by Crowder. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one goes for 24 yards. Here's Haskins to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Bell. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Here's Haskins. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's had his interception woes early in his rookie season, but sometimes that happens. There are great examples of guys in the past that have had those same struggles early.
You are so correct. And what the team and organization is hoping, we're going to see these woes now. But later, when we're helping him with his Hall of Fame speech, we'll remember his rookie year and how things...
It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. J.J. Nelson with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. Santos now to add the PAT. And it is now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. 21-0 our score after 1.
Right there. 54 Mike. All day, dog.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Haskins, that's complete over the middle to Anderson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Jet 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming, pick them up, pick them up. And someone jumped.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Army.
Haskins will throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. And this Raiders and Jets contest is a part of the NFL 100 series. And a little history lesson, back in November of 1968, there was a game between these two teams where the Raiders scored 2 touchdowns in the final minute to win. And actually coverage was broken away from that game on the East Coast to show the movie Heidi. So a lot of the Jets fans missed the Raiders' comeback. Can imagine some saddened faces when they took the rubber bands off their newspapers the next morning on the East Coast. But don't worry, folks, we will not be interrupting this broadcast to show the movie Heidi. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Haskins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Bell. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with that, they're now out of timeouts. And still plenty of time remaining here in this 2nd quarter.
Here we go. 54. Watch 54. Let's go, D. It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be a long day.
On second down now. It's Bell, and the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Third down, here's Haskins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. He's continuing to be a big presence defensively. Remember last week, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and a big pick right there.
And when you pile up big numbers, it gets everyone's attention. But sometimes the number just needs to be, how many game-changing plays did you make? Did you take the ball away from the other team? He just did that, trying to win the award again this week.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Brandon Copeland able to record his 5th sack of the season. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Back to throw. Fitzgerald. They'll find his running back here, Richard. Richard lost it, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. So we've got a challenge. Our referee's going to take another look on the tablet. He's going to be watching to see if the knee was down prior to the ball coming out.
I love what you just said there. You nailed it, because if the ball's shifting or moving before the knee or any other part of the body hits the ground, then that'll be considered a fumble.
Following the fumble recovery, Fitzgerald. Dancing to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, apart from Kyler Murray, not too many mobile QBs in this year's rookie class, but some good scrambling there to get the first. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Yes. Hey, Alpha. Ready?
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And a loose football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. He's got a first down and more past the 30. And all the way up to the 46. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
From just shy of midfield, Haskins incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense. On
third down, here's Bell. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Yeah, he's just short. He got 6 of the 7 he needed, so that leaves a decision here on 4th and a yard. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Raider D, they get the football back. A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10.
Kill. Hey, Delta. Hey, lock it. Pick the edge. Hey. Now.
Throwing on 1st down. Fitzgerald. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
So the first thing that crosses my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
Now a 1st down carry by Bell. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Bell, of course, 3-time 1,000-yard rusher. Sat out 2018, but you look back to 2017, a tick under 1,300 yards and almost 700 more receiving.
Here we go, D. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
From the 27, Haskins. Throw left side complete. That's Bell. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
First red zone opportunity now for the Jets. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. Now Bell. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
I can't help it. Every time I see Eric Berry make a play, as we just saw him make a tackle there, I just want to stand up and applaud.
Because he went to Tennessee like you?
Well, that doesn't hurt one bit, but how about the comeback? I mean, he came back from beating cancer and getting back to Pro Bowl level, one of the best players in the game.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Now it's Haskins. That is caught by Anderson for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson, as the first half is winding down, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Lachlan Edwards to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
At their own 15-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go. Shit.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Defense, let's go. Go. Be ready. Rock it. Bravo.
2nd and 3. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Brandon Copeland in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. He finds an opening past the 40. And finally marked down at the 42-yard line. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Off the play fake. Fitzgerald. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, Jacobs.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 3rd and 2, Fitzgerald. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Now whistles and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
Le'Veon Bell, kiss him goodbye. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Le'Veon Bell. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jets are able to cut into this deficit. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. Now after the touchdown, it's Lachlan Edwards to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Jordan Jenkins in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Look at me, zipper. Hey, check motion man. Put your hands on him. Yes, yes. Mike 46. Mike 46. Here we go, here we go. Ready?
2nd and long. That's complete to Richard, the running back. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain of right around 35 yards on a play that started back inside their 10.
Hey, 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 hey. 46 to Mike. 46 to Mike. Watch the curl, watch the curl, watch the curl. Hey, wahoo. 6 to Mike, 46. Watch the down.
On 1st down, Fitzgerald. That's caught. It's Malone. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Hey, Haywood.
Operating from the gun, Fitzgerald. They'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Check 31. Check. Hey, echo. Go. Bam. Fight.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Fitzgerald. And he's going to go down again.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Hey, Oregon.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Fitzgerald. And an alley to run. Finding some room. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Hey, watch the ball, watch the ball.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter.
Right there. 54 Mike. Let's go, D. Let's go.
On play action, Haskins. He's going to air one out for Anderson. And this is taken in at the 5. Big yardage that time for the Jets. 51 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try and run it in with Bell. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. Second down and goal. Haskins to the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there, but now it's third and goal.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
This Raider defense not giving in. They'll try to hold once more on third and goal. Haskins will keep it on the sneak. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Dwayne Haskins, his second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. As they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point good by Catanzaro. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Now after the touchdown, it's Lachlan Edwards to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, Charles, of course, you got to remember, last possession they fumbled. It led to a touchdown. One-score game here. Got to be careful.
And this is where coaching and training really comes into play, doesn't it? What does everyone say after an error? Next play, move on, next drive. That mantra has to come to the front. They've got to take care of business right here and act like the last series just didn't happen.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Run you over. Lights 57's right. Watch the game.
From the gun, Fitzgerald. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Malone. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one good for 26 and a first down. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
57's Mike. Mike 57. Time to go. Night. Slam. Go. Check.
This is Richard, and he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Give them 14 on that one and a first down. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Throwing on second and 14. Fitzgerald, he's going to rifle one deep left side. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. So, my goodness, I wouldn't have thought this possible not too long ago, but that turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the second half. I just wonder on the other side of the field where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
Le'Veon Bell, it's a foot race. The 40. He's at the 30. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Le'Veon Bell, 96 yards. And the Jets have taken the lead. So from 3 scores down, these guys have fought all the way back to grab the lead. And I'll just tell people what happened when they went up 3 scores. I wrote on your paper 2 words, game over, and now I'm eating those words. I was wrong.
A little salt, a little pepper, goes down pretty easily.
I will admit when I make a mistake.
Well, it looked like it was going that way. This is one of those paging Frank Reich moments, and I can't believe I just brought that up, because Frank Reich at Maryland in college did it to my Tennessee Volunteers, and that was a big reason why my team lost.
Sounds like you still harbor some pain from that game.
You know, we still got a little time to work it out with the doctor.
Let's go. The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Off play action. Fitzgerald. Now a desperation throw deep down. And a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And, boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
Another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's Bell. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
54, right there. 54, Mike.
Again, it's Bell. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. The Jets on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 5. This is Bell. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt.
Keep playing hard.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Leonard Williams in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever.
Good. 57's right. Come, baby. I'm coming, baby. Woo! Now. 57, Mike 57. Look, squeeze. Watch QB drop. Defense.
They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. And they're out of timeouts, remember, so this is going to have to be a delay. That'll move them back 5 yards. Actually, no, from the 9, that'll move them back half the distance. Well, Charles, this one's going to be hard to digest. You take the lead into the 4th quarter, lose that lead. Maybe they felt like they let this one slip away a little bit.
They will definitely feel like that, because when you have a lead in the 4th quarter, all you talk about doing is finishing and closing a game out. But when you flip it over, how about that? Making the comeback and then finishing the game, sealing it on defense, they will feel jubilant in their locker room.
So for the Jets, it's just their 2nd win here in 11 tries this season. And they will hit the road next week to take